Hi, everybody. Happy Wednesday. Welcome to It's Sybil and Myra J with you right now. We are awaiting the arrival of, we're a couple of chicks just waiting for the dudes to arrive.
Right. Waiting on the men, folk, as usual.
It is Myra J and Stephen Hill Day on Wednesdays. And also we have a very special guest straight from the White House, ladies and gentlemen. State Senator Royce West is going to join us in just a few minutes to talk about his meeting at the White House as well as with others. He's had quite a busy couple of days. So we will talk to him about that. And of course, the folks at the White House anxious to talk to and to laud the Democrats as they stood up to the Republicans in the Texas State House a couple of weeks ago. So we will talk about that. Myra J, let's talk about you and where you is. Where are you? What's the word? What's the haps? What's the going on?
I am in Martha's Vineyard, and as we do in the vineyard, we just chill and eat the roll of lobster.
Oh man, can you like put one in the mail for me? I haven't had a good lobster roll in forever.
Man,
oh my!
Look, I love lobster rolls, and I've had them, but when you come to the vineyard, it is just disgusting. I actually have leftover lobster meat, which is unheard of in my house.
It was just too much lobster.
It was too much lobster in the lobster roll, and you hardly ever hear me say there was too much meat.
I don't think I've ever heard you.
I heard that just recently. So there's that. Right?
You went to one of those all-you-could-eat places. Hi, Stephen Hill.
Hello,
Sybil Wilkes. Hello, Myra J.
Welcome back, Steve. We missed you last week.
It's great to be here.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So what's your tag today? I can't see what that is.
You know what that is? Sybil Wilkes. That's a shrug emoji. You know what? That's a shrug emoji.
Oh, okay.
Because I have no idea what's happening in the world. So as you talk to them, I also will be learning.
Oh,
so there's that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So I of course, because I will have an opinion on everything.
Of course.
But I know nothing, and that is why I could be a Republican. So there. Some of you may be right. Some of you may actually be correct.
That was drum. Yeah, exactly. So Stephen Hill, you look like you're in a monastery. Are you?
I am.
Okay.
I am.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so, can you tell us where you are?
Oh yeah, I'm Los Angeles. I'm in Los Angeles, California.
Okay. Are you working? You got another?
I am indeed. Well, that's why I have no idea what's going on, Sybil, because my retirement did not go as well as I thought it was going to go. I really thought
I'd be so lucky.
I thought it was going to be great, but it did not, and I love it. Shout out to all my cohorts at DCP, Dick Clark Productions, where we are feverishly working on shows coming up.
So, good. So the last one you did was the award show.
Billboard Music Award.
Okay, and that was awesome with the whole piece you did from Paisley Park.
Paisley Park.
Yeah.
Flying a camera through the halls.
Awesome. All right, so Stephen Hill, I want to hear more about that. Myra, I want to have more lobster talk if we can as we go through this day. I do want to. We are holding off on talking about the what happened today. As we talk with State Senator Royce West, he will be contacting as soon as he gets to his hotel. He said he's got a lot of noise and stuff, and he's got ears probably in the car. So let's go to our trending video of the day. This is the video. It's not of the day. This video has been trending for several days now. Stephen Hill, I don't know if you've seen this, Myra. I don't know because you've been away too. But this is taken from a bar, an LGBTQ bar, and a young woman dragged out of the bar. Let's take a look. somebody else. So this is a crazy video of a young woman being dragged down the stairs at this bar. And they say that the security mistook her for someone else. She was visiting the Washington, D.C. bar during Pride celebrations, pulled down the stairs by her hair and arm in this video, which, as you can imagine, went viral. They said this happened Saturday at Nellie's Sports Bar. And the young woman has been identified as a 22-year-old woman, Keisha Young, and believes that that security mistook her for someone else. And she said, I feel like even just separating race from it, no man should ever handle a woman in that way. That should never be okay. That's what she said to NBC in Washington, D.C. And as you can see, a lot of guys came to her defense and trying to step between her and this. But you are seeing her, just people are just shocked at the security throwing punches, at the crowd throwing punches at security, and the fight ensuing between multiple people. At the end of the video, security is attempting to pull the people involved out of the door onto the sidewalk. And as I said, this is security at Nellie's Sports Bar in D.C. The bouncer thought she tried to bring a bottle into the bar. According to the news, she said she has bruises all over, that wasn't happening. And now the defense is that, well, she was throwing punches too.
No, fire. Look, there's no excuse. There's no look. Most security people are really are efficient, cordial, and do their jobs. There are just some people who take that bit of power that they have 5 hours every night at a club, and take all their frustrations of the world out on that because they have a little power. There's nothing. I can't think of something she did short of brandishing a firearm inside of the club that deserves no matter what, let alone bringing a bottle into the club.
If she did bring a bottle, okay, you can't bring that in. Does that mean right? Is
right.
That you? Yeah.
You don't, even if, and the whole point is, if you're security, if she starts flailing on you, you are to subdue her, and then, but you don't drag her down. You don't drag her down the stairs. I can't think of a reason to do that, but.
I've not seen that happen ever before. Are you, Stephen Hill, are you familiar with Nellie's of DC?
I am not. I don't know. Do you know what part of DC it
I can check and see. And people may be listening. But I didn't see the neighborhood. Myra, what do you think?
Well,
it's a questionable. I'm sorry, Myra. Randall Andrews on Facebook says Nellie's is known to be a questionable establishment.
Questionable establishment.
Okay. Well, okay. I don't know what that means as far as questionable, but I do know that this was awful, and I would really like to see what happened just prior to this, even though this was disgusting. Because if they said she had a bottle, so where was the bottle? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Before it gets to this point, where was the proof that this is the person? Or did someone say, that's her, she has a bottle, well, let's grab her by the hair and snatch her downstairs? You see what I'm saying? It makes no sense whatsoever. So I would really like to know what happened.
Well, here's the thing: if I'm innocent, and again, this goes to how security's handling it. If I'm innocent and security comes to me and they, excuse me, where's your bottle? I'm gonna be like, I don't have a bottle, and security will ratchet it up as opposed to putting it down. Like, yes, you have a bottle. Somebody told you had a bottle, and I will be rightfully upset because I don't have a bottle. So I see how it escalates, but it's on
but
security.
Somebody has to be
on security to de-escalate that. It's on security.
Right.
It's on them.
Yeah.
Right. But again, just like I said, where is the proof to take it to this level? That's what I'm like. Where's the bottle?
Okay, Randall knows about this questionable bar. He says it's in the Shaw neighborhood, the corner of U and 9th Northwest. Shaw neighborhood, corner of U and 9th Northwest. So
makes sense for DC. No, I just mean that's what a cool bar would be.
A cool bar. Okay.
Shout out to those people in DC who know the old 14th and U.
Oh, okay.
That's a DMV shout right there.
It really is, and you're not going to share for us non-DMVers?
Well, 14th and U used to be the place where the those engaging in the oldest profession hung out.
Okay. So Times Square of
14th and U of 1981 equals Times Square of 1976.
Okay.
So Santa Monica Boulevard today.
Oh, it is? Really? That's funny because Santa Monica Boulevard is right outside my.
and you haven't seen anything?
No, you know what I did see? I did,
what?
and I saw Myra J's name on Comedy Store.
Oh, yeah!
The Comedy Store absolutely just go see Myra J's name. And it was great to see that list of Black names. It really was. It really was.
Wasn't
absolutely strong. It really was. It really was.
The Black Wall.
And it's prominent. They didn't hide it. They didn't put it. Yeah. They didn't put it back near the engine room.
Thank you. Thank you.
They put it up. They put it front and center. So
I want somebody to go by every week.
Myra J.
To all the comics, comics. But yeah. I want somebody to go by every week and check that they don't, just like you said, if they don't move that entire wall.
Yeah.
It's in the back somewhere.
I ain't gonna lie, I saw somebody's name on there. I was like, comic is a generous name for what this guy does.
That's funny.
No, I'm just kidding. I kid because I want to be on the wall. I want to be on the wall. That's
and you should be on the wall.
Yes. And I was after I got some white chalk.
Hello.
I was just about to say, trust me, I have a feeling it's going to be a lot of names on that wall because big comics are going to be coming back going, oh, wait a minute, was she on there? Let me that pen,
okay? We were awaiting Royce West, the Texas senator, from the state senator from Texas, and he was a part of a group of the Democrats from Texas who went to Washington, D.C., I guess over the last couple of days. And now Texas Senator Royce West, who I like to call governor, is with us. He's joining us. And now we can talk to him about what's going on. Hello, Governor.
Hello, Sybil Wilkes, Myra J, Steve.
Hello.
How you guys doing?
Hello.
How are you? So let me just set this up a little bit for people who know what's been going on. We have been talking about it here and in the newsletter. Of course, Texas-led, the Republican-led state is one of those trying to do away with the voting rights of Black and brown people, especially. And the Republican majority in the state Senate passed a bill, and then it was going to the House. Amongst the things in the bill, they were trying to do away with ballot harvesting, that they call someone taking ballots for other people and then submitting them. They were trying to do away with the hours for souls to the polls. They have amended that a little bit, and some other things that were in this bill that you can talk about, Royce, if you will. When it came time for the end of the session and they were hoping to pass the bill in the state House, the Democrats all stood up and one by one they made their exit, thus denying them of the honor of passing this horrific bill and making a statement. And so now the governor, well, I won't call him the governor, Greg Abbott says he's going to call a special legislative session. So now, Royce, and you look great, by the way. Is that your White House going to meeting clothes?
Yes, it is. Yes.
Okay. Nice. Royce, you've been in D.C. now with a group of Democrats, Texas Democrats, called to the White House, and you've been making the rounds, haven't you?
Yes, we have, Sybil, and thank you very much for this opportunity to speak to people in this country. Our civil rights are under attack once again. Let me kind of put it in context. Yes, we had the Civil War. All of us understood what that was for. And then right after that, we had the period of Reconstruction. And then right after that, we had Jim Crow laws, Black Code laws put in place that denied us a little bit of everything, specifically our rights to vote. You remember your grandparents talking about, in order to vote, you had to say how many bubbles was in soap, those types of situations. Well, and then we ended up going through the civil rights movement, obviously getting the right to vote, which we still have to vote on every so many years to reenact. Barack Obama, president of the United States, and then the silly guy after him. And now we're in a situation where they are doing, the Trump administrations, you know as well as I, they attempted to take away all types of vestiges of, I put it like this, of trying to be affirmative vestiges of affirmative action towards making certain that everyone had an opportunity to participate. And now we see Trump lie spreading across the country after you have Mitch McConnell and all those guys sit up and said that what he did on January 6th was deplorable. They have not done about face. And what we see now is a whole litany of laws that are being considered and passed throughout this country. Those litany of laws, I would say, is the beginning of Jim Crow 2.0 if we don't stop it.
Right.
I'll tell you from the very beginning, the meeting we had this morning with our Vice President, Kamala Harris, she has the resolve to do everything in her power. And the President of the United States has the resolve to do everything in his power to make certain that we stop these draconian laws. So what's going on? Oh, obviously, we have H.R. 1 and H.R. 4, the John Lewis Act, and Free the People Act, We the People Act, that need to be passed here in Congress. And we had a meeting with Joe Manchin today. We'll talk about that.
Okay.
And we met with the Speaker of the House yesterday, Nancy Pelosi, who was with us all day long, Myra J. From the time we had lunch with her to the time we concluded yesterday evening, she was with us. Okay. That shows you what type of resolve that she has as it relates to seeing something get done. The question is whether we have the resolve. What's going on in Texas? Texas right now, Steve, has probably the worst, the most restrictive voting laws in this country. And they're now attempting to pass something even stricter as relates to denying people the right to vote. And they're using this hashtag, so to speak, voter integrity. You've heard that message around the country, okay? And I don't want Democrats or people who care about our democracy, whether you're a Democrat or Republican, I don't care. I don't want you to get hoodwinked and bamboozled, as we would say, when they say voter integrity. Of course, everyone wants voter integrity, but we don't want voter suppression, and that's what's going on. More specifically, about Senate Bill 7. You look at Texas passing a law this year, Myra J., to allow on Sunday morning people to buy beer at 10 o'clock, but restricting our rights to do souls to the polls on that day.
That's ridiculous.
What they're doing also is that for mistakes, okay, that volunteers may very well make as election workers, not officials.
Right.
They're criminalizing it. And so what does that do? It has a chilling effect on people wanting to volunteer for elections.
That's right.
Okay? Which means that you're going to end up having a problem finding people to work the elections now.
Oh, they'll find people. They'll bring their people.
That's exactly what they're trying to do. And the version of the bill that we had to fight back had poll watchers' ability to be able to use video cameras at voting locations. Now, can you imagine going into a voting precinct to vote and someone's in your face with a camera? You know what's going to happen.
All hell's gonna break out.
But Steve,
and people keep people home.
Steve, what would you do? Somebody, you go vote and somebody had a camera in your face. What would you do?
So I wouldn't have a problem with someone having a camera in my face. However, I know that a lot of our folks will have a very hard time. The same people who don't want to fill out census forms will have the same problem having a camera in their face as they go to vote because they believe the government will be up to something.
Well, that's exactly right. But I know also that if someone goes in there and you end up having a Anglo telling an Hispanic that I have the right to video you coming in and going out, there's going to be problems. There's going to be problems. People are not going to understand that, first of all. People don't take that much time to understand exactly that they would have had the right to do that. But we were able to get that out of the bill. It's still poll watchers on both sides of the aisle.
Right.
An opportunity to do more than they've done in the past. When you begin to look at mail-in ballots, taking away the ability of the voting registrar to send out applications for mail-in ballots to people who are over 65, as an example.
Right.
Taking away that ability. And you have to specifically ask for it before you can get an application. And then some of the signature verification processes is just ridiculous.
Yeah.
And then lastly, and I can go on and on about it, when you begin to look at someone wanting to contest an election, there's no requirement now of you showing voter fraud as a basis of the contest for the election.
That's crazy.
So those are the things that we're having to deal with now.
And so, in talking to, because we saw at the Black Wall Street observation, where President Biden was there, and he announced that the vice president was going to be taking over in terms of all of the election laws and all of the negotiations and things going on. So she's getting up to speed on this by talking to you all, and you and the Texas Democrats are really front and center of this discussion right now because the bill has not been passed. It's been stopped thus far. Do you think that there's anything that can be done on the state level to make some changes?
Well, I'm hoping that what we will be able to do is to recommend our own bill, take some of the aspects of the bill as filed, Senate Bill 7, that are not egregious, put it in a bill that we have, okay? And then make I guess you could say, an overture to our Republican colleagues and say, listen, let's sit down and see, can we work through what we can agree to in a election bill that not only is dealing with voter integrity, but also participation and rename, rename the narrative. I don't think it's going to work.
Right.
Okay?
I was going to say with Abbott and Dan Patrick and all those, people, it's highly unlikely.
I think it's incumbent upon us to be able to do that.
Right.
And, and I'm hoping, and as I've said to many of the congresspersons and the leaders that we spoke to today, figure out what tools do we have here at the federal level that we can utilize too, in order to make certain that we stop this draconian bill as best possible. But we will use every tool that we have at our disposal in order to do that. And this happened back in 2003. I think y'all remember, and we ended up having to go to Albuquerque, New Mexico.
Yeah,
all right?
yeah.
We were out there for some 47 days.
That's right. You all held out there.
Yeah, we held out.
Yeah.
And so we'll use every tool at our disposal to make certain that we represent the interests of people that are our constituents, and needless to say, Texans and Americans. So
Royce, let me ask you, in terms of the national bills, what do you think are the possibilities, especially when you have roadblocks like Joe Manchin, who calls himself a Democrat in name only? What sense did you get from your meeting with him, as well as a perspective from others as far as these bills getting passed?
I guess you could describe him as a Democrat in name only. Okay.
A dino.
Okay. I know that in a legislative body that you've got to figure out how to get things done.
Yeah.
Okay. And let me give you a perspective. If you do away with the filibuster bill, where does that leave us when a Republican majority comes in? All right. Think about that. And so, yes, based on the meeting we had today with him, he has given, in terms of HR 1, he has sent the different areas of recommendations that he would make to make it a better bill. All right.
Okay.
That's all you can ask him to do.
Right.
Now, the question becomes one, and he wants to make certain that the John Lewis bill, which is HR 4, it still needs some work done to it in order to make certain it passes constitutional muster, that he works with the House members in order to beef up that bill and make it more palatable for conservative, moderate to conservative Democrats, and hopefully Republicans. In addition, he's given us the names of potential senators that we should contact, and we will do that. And we're going to make certain that we have senators that, you take, I can't recall what state Roy Blunt's in. I want to make certain.
Roy Blunt is Missouri, I believe.
Missouri. No, you're right. It is Missouri. I want to make certain that the Divine Nine in Missouri and other links and other organizations go and sit down with Senator Blunt and talk to him about this bill and also see whether or not they can work with him to deal with any issues that he might have and be supportive of it.
Yeah.
We need to do that to other potential senators also that are Republican.
Yeah. Even if they're not running for re-election, they still need to be out there and in front. Could you do anything about Georgia's election bill for Myra J? Could you help your friend out here, Royce?
Myra J, we know that I'm gonna do my best to help out. Okay. I mean, here's the deal. If we get Senate Bill 1 and specifically Senate Bill 4 passed, then we'll be able to have pre-clearance on the books once again.
Mm-hmm.
Back in 2013.
13 with the Supreme Court.
Right, right. Shelby County case. So if we can do what Justice Roberts said in that particular decision, get the data and all of that stuff to back up the formula, then I think we're going to be okay in terms of the constitutionality of the bill, but we'll still need to get the votes in order to pass it.
Royce, you may have answered this question already, but like you guys call Joe Manchin the Dino, Democrat in name only. Are there any Republicans that you would call, well, they call them rhinos, because just as regular Jane Q citizens, it's very frustrating for us because it seems like we are so close, but we're still losing this battle because we have this one holdout. And I'm desperate to know who may be that beacon of common sense on the Republican side that you guys can talk to.
Marjay, it's going to take 60 votes to get this done.
Mm-hmm.
All right. It's going to take
10.
So we've got
10
Republicans. And again, I think that those Roy Blunt, we've got to talk to him. And I don't know his philosophy, but Republicans that have maybe voted for Juneteenth. There was a Juneteenth vote. Did they make it a national holiday?
Yeah.
All right.
In the Senate. Yeah.
And I know that's not going to be Corning and Cruz. That's for certain.
Yeah. Well, Cornyn, he was leading the way on that bill.
Yeah, but we're talking about a holiday. we need to have something. I don't.
And I know how you feel about John Cornyn. I know.
Okay. He's okay. But the fact is, we need substantive rights.
Yeah.
I don't mind having a holiday, but we need substantive rights.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And if he could be supportive of substantive rights, then I'm okay with him. And I don't disagree with him on everything. I disagree with him on some things. Okay. And that's just how it is without making it personal. But in terms of trying to find other Republicans, Myra J., that's what's going to be the hard work that we have to do. And we've got to do that work. And that's what's going to be important, that we get the Divine Nines, the NAACP, the LULACs, and the Links, and all of them to kind of, in those particular states, to work with us in order to try to get something done. The fact is that I'm going to try to work with Senator Manchin as well as other Democrats to see whether or not we can do a Zoom in those states and have him talk to people about what he thinks they ought to be doing to visit with their senators and get them to be supportive.
Stephen Hill, do you have a question for Governor?
What can we do? Like, what's the thing that we can do to move this forward? Right, this is great, and we understand what's happening in the Senate. But what can Shanton, Nyko, Tim, John Lynn, all of our viewers do to help move this forward?
Well, you can talk to your Republican senators. Okay, make sure you educate yourself on what HR1 is and HR14 is. Talk to your congresspersons first to get the information about both of those bills. So just go on the website, go on the internet. You can find that information.
You can find it in the What You Need to Know newsletter. We always have conversations about that.
That's right. And so use the newsletter, but contact your congresspersons and make certain that you can work in conjunction with them in order to try to move the senator within those areas that would be more receptive to the message concerning supporting these bills. That's what needs to happen. And then secondly, and just as important, we got to vote.
Right.
Every time we have an election, what are we doing? We're saying you need to vote. You may or may not know this, but in Texas,
right.
Do you realize that Texas has the largest African-American population in the country?
And how many of us are voting?
Uh,
You experienced this in your last, campaign.
Right. I mean, the reality is this. I lost a special election where I got close to 1 million votes. I lost by 30,000 votes.
Wow.
And so we got to vote.
That breaks my heart.
We got to vote. We got to vote.
And particularly in the midterms, because it is known that minorities, we drop off, we disappear come midterm elections. We get fired up for the presidential election, and we got to go out and vote, and then we think the work is over.
Right.
When so much of the things that affect us directly is on the local and state level.
Right.
We have to vote in those elections.
And speaking of participation, I just want to throw this in that I'm going to be joining the Black Voters Matter, their bus tour. They kick off the 60th anniversary of the Freedom Riders going on. And so they are starting out in Jackson, Mississippi and Birmingham on Saturday, on Juneteenth, and they will be traveling up the East Coast through the South up the East Coast to Washington D.C. On the following Saturday, and they will be having rallies and voter registrations all along the way. This is real. I'm telling you, Myra, I'm so right there with you. This is really important. And so, if you'd like more information, go to Black Voters Matter and check out where the bus is going to be in the upcoming week. We'd love to see you out there and to get involved. Absolutely.
Well, guys, I've got one more function I've got to go to.
No. I was going to let you go. Thank you so much, Royce. I really appreciate it. Thank you for representing us, and thank you for coming on tonight and talking to us and trying to help us make some sense of this.
keep this avenue of content coming to people, and keep on doing what you're doing. And God bless each and every one of you.
Okay. You too. Thank you so much. Safe travel, Royce. Keep up the great work. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
That is the great State Senator Royce West of Texas, and they're in rubbing elbows with the biggest of the big. That would be the Vice President of the United States today. So we thank him for taking time to do that.
There she is.
There she is. That's the picture. Yep, there she is, sitting there in the White House, the West Wing. Okay, so
measuring for the drapes. I'm sorry, never mind. Sorry. I'm so sorry.
What's wrong with you?
I think while she's away, maybe Doug is doing that for her. I'm not. Let's take a look at the What You Need to Know newsletter and talking about what to do and calling and talking to your senators and what have you, as State Senator Royce West was just talking about. That's the first story in today's What You Need to Know newsletter, because the woman who should be the governor of Georgia is calling for a hot call summer and wants everybody to make it a hot call summer in order to get the For the People Act passed. And so she is calling on everyone to call your senators. Everybody has 2 U.S. senators in their state. Call your senators every day.
Hot call summer.
Hot call summer, man. It's
Vody yodi 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 yodi. Vody yodi 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 yodi.
It's fun to do, isn't it, Steve?
Vody yodi yodi.
Back in I don't remember now. I guess it was in 2019 with the Women's March and that big movement, and they were asking people to send postcards, and I would send postcards every week to the senators, and I would put on there, "We will remember in November," because I had 2 Republican senators. To the point where they started responding like, "Okay, now, what are we remembering now?" I would send it to their DC office and to their office in Georgia. Like, keep it up. We will remember in November. And as it looked up, we did remember because they're both gone.
Okay. So here we have, as we're talking about this, we also have breaking news. The House has passed the Juneteenth bill. And so now Juneteenth is going to be a federal holiday commemorating the end of slavery. President Biden, obviously, once he gets back from his little meeting with Putin, is expected to sign that. So if he's back tonight, maybe we'll get it signed tomorrow in time for Juneteenth.
How cool would that be?
How awesome is that?
Okay, all right. I'm the only person has a problem with Juneteenth being a holiday. I mean that sincerely. Like I get that it signifies the end of slavery, but something about that sits wrong with me. I appreciate the people who've taken it as a position of power. It just with me something about it screams like white folks freed slaves, and we're going to celebrate the fact that white folks freed it. There's something that just doesn't sit right with me. When it's used to draw attention and teach things in schools that are no longer taught, I get it. It's just on its surface, the idea of Juneteenth as a day of celebration.
I understand.
It challenges me.
And I understand what you're saying, and it took a while for my mind to shift in terms of celebrating how Black folks didn't know until 2.5 years later that they were free. But I do like
they sent it by U.S. mail. I think that's more than likely.
That was Louis DeJoy's first movement as Postmaster General to make sure that we didn't get our mail. But I got to tell you, being in Texas and seeing how empowered and especially this last year in the wake of George Floyd's murder and all the other things that came about, and a sense of empowerment and making people realize how far we've come and where we are, but how far we still have to go. And this kind of really energizes people in a certain way, to a certain extent, to get involved and to do things. So we may not be proud of the fact that, we's free now, and how that happened, but it does give a sense of purpose to people in the recognition of this. We got a lot of people who so Steve, you can jump in here, but I do want to go to the people. It's all about how we celebrate it. Shanta says that I use these holidays to educate my kids and celebrate our history, that we are relevant. Which
is exactly why I propose, forget Juneteenth, let's have Tulsa Day. Now that's a day I can get behind, right? Because Tulsa Riot Day is like
May 31st, June 1st. Can you give me that back again, please? I agree with you. Nakia Sangria, I love that name. They got that done, but not the voting or policing acts. I don't need it or want it. So let's use that as an impetus to get these voting acts done.
See, my issue with it, and I understand both sides, but what I do like about it is the acknowledgement of it.
Yeah.
You have
which we can't, and now some of the bills in the states, Myra, they can't even talk about it.
This is what I'm saying. We have to acknowledge it because they don't want to they don't want to talk about slavery. They don't want to talk about Tulsa. They don't want to talk about Rosewood. Look, a lot of people don't remember we fought like hell to get Martin Luther King Day. A national holiday. They don't want to see us. They don't want to recognize us. We're just America's dirty little secret. So I say, damn right, there is a day. What is today? Today is June. Not just that Black people should know it. Everyone in America should know why this day is recognized.
And Shanta says Stephen Hill will give us reason to tell white folks what they did to us. It starts that conversation.
That's why I'm all about Tulsa Day. I'm all about Tulsa Day because Tulsa Day, you get to celebrate Black achievement, right? Yeah. It's not, we are not the passive people in this. In Juneteenth, we are nothing but the passive people. Well, we are the people who got freed. Right, we took no agency, no action. But Tulsa, you could celebrate. Yeah, you built your Wall Street, and then they tore that ish down. That was.
Yeah, I get it. I get what you're saying, but I gotta tell you, are you okay?
I am now.
Okay.
I had a max headroom moment.
Oh my gosh.
Like that reference, don't you?
I do. You know I do. The obscure references, the better. Chris Paul and I spoke with Mrs. Opal Lee. She's the 94-year-old former educator here in Fort Worth, Texas, who spearheaded really to get Juneteenth made into a national holiday, a federal holiday. And so, and there's something about when she talks about this, Steve, and talks about the accomplishments of Black folks and how this celebration highlights how special we are as a people in the arts, in entertainment, in politics, in medicine, in science, all the sciences. It really kind of it jazzed me up and wanted me to go out there and walk with her for 2.5 miles on Saturday. And so, oh, by the way, if you want to participate, you can go to opalswalktodc.com. But I'm telling you, I agree with you. I love the idea of the Tulsa Day and having that on May 31st or June 1st. I think that would have been a brilliant idea. I don't think we're going to get that done now. But I do like the fact that we are looking at history and when Black people were just so prosperous and did the damn thing. And built up this country and built up their community to the point where white folks wanted to do away with it. Yes, it took 90 to 100 years for the rest of the country to come around, but there is something very special about enacting that day and putting that on the map as well. I agree with you. Absolutely.
Okay.
We don't have a lot of time left, but I do want to talk about a couple of things. Do we have the video of the young lady talking to Putin today? Okay. Yolanda's checking because I want to give the Badass of the Day award to Rachel Scott of ABC News. This young Black woman stood up after the meeting with between Putin and Biden, and she took on the head of Russia, the president of Russia. Check this out.
BBC News, our American colleagues.
Mr. President, thank you so much for taking my question. President Biden has said that he would respond if cyber attacks from Russia do not stop. I'm curious, what did he tell you? Did he make any threats? And a quick follow-up, if I may, sir. The list of your political opponents who are dead, imprisoned, or jailed is long. Alexei Navalny's organization calls for free and fair elections, an end to corruption. But Russia has outlawed that organization, calling it extremist. And you have now prevented anyone who supports him to run for office. So my question is, Mr. President, what are you so afraid of?
Right, well, once again, I would like to repeat what I said about so-called foreign agents and the people who say that they are part of the unauthorized opposition. I've already spoken to your colleagues. Now I have to repeat that to you. Okay, once again, the US has passed a law which said that the US would particularly favor individual organizations in Russia, and at the same time they declared the Russian Federation as an enemy. They publicly declared that they will try to contain Russia. My question is, which organizations, which political organizations in the US are going to be supported by the US, especially if they pay them?
So he started going on and on talking about, and I don't know if we have this, but he starts talking about the whataboutisms, talking about, oh, well, what about Black Lives Matter's arrest, and what about the attack on the Capitol in January, and so.
You didn't answer my question, sir. If all of your political opponents are dead, in prison, poisoned, doesn't that send a message that you do not want a fair political fight?
Well, on the question of who is murdering whom, people rioted and went into the Congress in the US with political demands. And many people were declared as criminals, and they are threatened with imprisonment from 20 to 25 years. And these people were immediately arrested after those events. On what grounds, we don't know always. The states didn't actually inform us about that. One of the participants were just shot on the spot, and unarmed as well. Many countries are going through exactly what we're going through. Let me just repeat. We sympathize with what was happening in the States, but we do not wish that to happen in Russia.
And next, who's got another question?
So when did Trump learn to speak Russian?
Oh, he was speaking Putin's language a long time ago. You're right. I thought that it was extremely brave of this young woman who knows that people get killed for calling this guy on his BS. I thought she did, an admirable job. And yeah, it's one of those gotcha moments. And yeah, this is a video that's going to go around the world. But I also
wait. But you heard his answer, right?
I heard his answer. Yeah.
Okay.
So what are you saying?
I guess I'm not saying what's too gotcha about it. It's just like Putin basically said, like, y'all have insurrection in the U.S. I ain't standing in front of you in the USSR.
By gotcha, I meant, when for me, asking a gotcha question like that is, so what are you so afraid of? Trying to, make a statement, if you will, about this man being a full-fledged murderer, and his deflection, talking about Black Lives Matter and what happened in our country. But I still think that she has opened the door, or at least I hope she has, for others who are not afraid of losing their lives in Russia or any of the other Russia condoned countries, that she be able to do that. She is, helping people to ask these questions and to have their freedom of speech and the ability to speak out.
Yeah, maybe I heard that. I heard that completely different. I get what she was saying. What you're afraid of it, but he answered with like, well, I'm not really afraid. Like, Black Lives Matter cause challenges, insurrection cause challenges, things cause challenges, and basically like, we're not going to have that happen in the USSR. USSR,
because we killed them.
Yes, he gave the cold-blooded, honest answer.
Yeah,
that's a surprise to me.
But
it was a cold-blooded, honest.
But she called him out on that. You don't see that.
I guess I'm used to. I'm used to hearing journalists do that. That's all. I mean, maybe that's it. I'm not trying to. Yeah. Like, she did a great job at doing her job. It just she was doing a great job of doing her job.
But they don't do it to Putin.
They don't get the chance to do it to Putin. I mean, this finally a U.S. journalist gets the chance to ask Putin a question.
Right.
So I think we're aligned. It's just like, she did a great job at not backing down and just doing her job. Yeah, at doing her job. I agree. But it's the answer that got me more than the question. That's all. Well, the answer was cold-blooded.
But that didn't surprise me.
That he admitted it. Now, if you're talking about she got him to admit it, that's one thing. Like, I've not heard it be that. I've never heard him say it that directly before.
Well, maybe I heard it in my own way and heard him, but no, he's never said, Killer Putin up in the house. It's not.
Which he said right there. That's what he said. Yeah. Y'all got this. We ain't trying to have that in Russia. You know what I'm saying?
there's so much I did want to talk to you about, and I had a whole bunch of stuff. And first of all, I wanted to wish a happy 79th birthday to our friend Eddie Levert. Today is his 79th birthday, so we wish him.
Eddie.
Right. And we also want to talk about Gorilla Glue Girl. Remember the woman who glued her hair down so she could straighten it and get her edges right and everything? Does it surprise you to know that she has announced she has a hair care line?
Oh, hell no. First of all.
Yeah. Which, I mean, I was always suspicious of that thing anyway, but, then all of a sudden this great doctor comes out of here and he has his own little way of doing this. And, then she gets her hair back and now she's got a hair care line.
Look, anytime you have lost your dignity and your edges, you can't come back to me.
I'm not sure that I want to trust her with anything in any bottle.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
In other news, my friend the Wolf has started a lamb daycare service as well. and the Kardashians have started a podcast, How to Date a White Man. So there you go.
Well, that should be short.
Well, that was 15, 20 years of keeping up with the Kardashians. Not the best choices they ever made, but okay. So I want to close out with a couple of things. First of all, I always like to end with a happy video, and then we also have our jewel of the day. So I'm going to share the jewel of the day, and then I'm going to leave out with our happy video. Today's jewel, Yogi's jewel, is you are stronger than your troubles. Inhale strength, exhale worry. You're stronger than your troubles. And maybe your trouble is just, trying to wolf down a nice lobster roll. But
look, y'all ain't gonna make me hate my struggles, okay? Not gonna do it.
Stephen Hill, I wish you luck with your latest adventures. I'm sorry retirement didn't work out for you. That you just keep getting job after job. I'm very proud of you, though. Really proud of you. I'm
one of the most fortunate people that I know on this planet, and I celebrate it every day. And part of it is being, and I mean this sincerely, and you know this, I say it off the air as well. Wednesday at 7:00 Eastern time is one of my favorite times of the entire week. So Myra J, Sybil, thank you very much for allowing me to be here, Mr.
Thank
Republican, Mr. Republican.
Thank you, Dark Woody.
That's Black Woody to you.
You're right. You're right. And also want to give a shout out to our friend Damon Williams. He just made me laugh with this video that he has on Instagram today. So
I am Damon Williams. If you only knew how many times.
I believe that.
Only knew how many times.
I believe that. And then stay tuned and everybody get out there and participate with Black Voters Matter. Thanks a lot. We'll see you tomorrow with George and Godfrey the comedian.
Let's say Wheaties.
No, it's sweetness.
Sweetness.
Oh, sweetness.
Walter Payton.
Yeah, he's wearing his Walter Payton shirt.
Oh, okay.
That's how we should all enter the day. Thanks, everybody. Have a good one.
Have a good one.
Bye-bye.
60 years ago, the Freedom Riders rode buses to fight against segregation. They won.
And now, as voter suppression is sweeping the country, we're riding out again.
Join the Blackest Bus in America and hundreds of organizations on a week-long freedom ride for voting rights from June 18th to June 26th.
Come out to our rallies in New Orleans, Jackson, Birmingham, Nashville, Atlanta, Columbia, Raleigh, Charleston, Richmond, and Washington, D.C.
If you can't join us at an event on the route, you can just meet us in D.C. on June 26th.
Or if you can't ride at all, then show your solidarity by hosting a rally right in your own town on June 26th.
No matter where you are, everybody can be a freedom rider. To learn how to get involved, Text Freedom Ride to 797979.
We got power, y'all, and we're bringing it to D.C.